Awesome. And how do you think your approach to stress, which is obviously anyone who runs their own business is very aware of stress. How do you think your approach to managing your stress? Because we've done a lot of work on this, on your coping mechanisms, on numbing tools like Xbox use, social media use, turning to food. These are all things that I think a lot of people who are watching this can relate to. So how's that changed from before, your way of coping with stress?
I think everyone's got a different way of kind of coping with stress, and I think it's kind of recognizing the kind of triggers for it, and kind of almost kind of sidestepping them, really, a bit like like a good analogy, but a bit like a bullfighter with a red cape. So the stress just kind of flow past, but you have to be aware of it. You have to know where it's coming from and be able to see it to cope with it. But in terms of coping mechanisms, it's kind of night and day different. And again, kind of going back to the mindset stuff and meditation, that massively helps.
That's awesome. I was laughing then, Nick, because I had this wonderful image. I'm a very visual person. I imagined you. I've actually been to a live bullfight years ago when I was a young child in Spain, and I just pictured you being the Matador in the funny costume, and it's a very comical view.
At least it almost looks like that.
Okay, so it's night and day regarding kind of your approach to working and your management of your stress. You're no longer suppressing the stressful things. You're no longer trying to numb it. You're, like you said, aware of it. Self-awareness has skyrocketed. You're aware of what the triggers are, so you're able to sidestep it like a matador, or you're able to kind of just manage how you respond to stuff. So I think that kind of neatly segues into a big topic of what I do with clients, is talking about what we do and don't have control over, so that we can let go of a lot of perceived control, which just leads to anxiety and stress. The work we've done on that front, I know that's been big for you. Like, in your own words, how do you find that focus has helped you over the last 16 weeks?
I was kind of almost kind of building to it, I suppose, but it's almost like someone kind of flicking a light switch. I suppose I kind of got to a point probably, I don't know, maybe a month ago, where almost kind of a light bulb went off, and I was like, oh my God, like, I just feel like a completely different person. It's amazing. Words can't begin to describe it, really. It's just the difference in the old me to the new me, in terms of kind of gratitude and kind of my kind of self-worth, and we don't, I think as people, we and especially I think a lot of creatives do it as well, they beat themselves up a lot, and a lot of where creativity comes from is that it's almost kind of kind of self-abuse, really. So I think as a creative, there's kind of there's an element of kind of lack of self-worth, and that's where some for a lot of creatives their creativity comes from. But with the gratitude practice and kind of just self-love, really, just kind of looking after yourself and taking care of yourself is it's been a massive fundamental shift in my thinking, my mindset, and sort of having time in the day to kind of take care of yourself and have portions of the day where you're looking after yourself is important on that journey, I think.
100%.
I don't know if that. Sorry, I cringed at the end of that. I didn't know if that sounded good, but
no. I think it's valid how you feel about that topic and that subject, and I think you're right. A lot of people I know, be it any kind of creativity, it's their demons that drive that creativity. Sometimes it's like their well that they draw from. But if you're not aware of how that impacts you, it can lead to seeking comfort in food to help you numb when you're overwhelmed, when you feel like your self-worth is bottoming out and you just don't feel like you deserve to be happy, healthy, whatever it may be. So working on that, and you mentioned gratitude practice a couple of times, but that's like the cherry on top, or like the tip of the iceberg in comparison to all the other things that we've done around that. So positive affirmation, the mantras that we use, focusing on the things that impact you the most and trying to get you to work on it daily to rewrite the script of how you viewed it up until now. Because, obviously we carry a lot of the stuff from our childhood into our adulthood. And if we don't do the work to rewrite it, it's like we learn these habits, some are healthy and some are unhealthy. And if we don't do the work to undo the unhealthy old habits and rewrite the new ones, we're always going to be battling. So I think that's where you've made a lot of progress as well.